The Seattle Seahawks are not just back, they are turning into the kind of problem that makes good teams lose sleep. A few months ago, this looked like a team still sorting itself out. Now they are walking into the biggest stage again, and the scary part is how normal they look doing it. Sam Darnold is not playing like a man trying to prove everyone wrong, he is playing like a man who already knows the answer. And when a team carries itself like that, the rest of the league feels it. Here is what nobody is talking about enough. This is not one side of the ball getting hot. This is Seattle hitting from every angle at once. The offense stays calm, then suddenly Jackson Smith-Njigba is open again and the chains move. Then Kenneth Walker turns a normal carry into a drive that drains your energy. And while you're still trying to adjust, the defense squeezes the air out of you, with Devin Witherspoon making every throw feel risky, and the whole unit playing fast without playing wild. The flip moments feel tilted because Rashid Shaheed can change field position in one snap and turn a close game into panic. But here is the twist that makes this feel bigger than a normal run. Seattle does not need a perfect game to control you. They just need time, patience, and one mistake from the other side, because this team is built to turn small cracks into a full break. That is why the real story starts with the offense, because it looks simple at first, almost quiet, until you realize the plan is designed to keep getting easier for Sam Darnold and harder for everyone trying to stop him. And once you see how that machine is built, the whole season starts to make sense. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Seahawks and all the NFL content. Can we hit 200 likes on this video? Seattle is running an offense that tricks you into thinking nothing is happening right up until the scoreboard says you are in trouble. The motion pulls your eyes, the run look pulls your feet, and the pass shows up exactly where your help just left. It is not loud football, it is pressure football. Clint Kubiak keeps the defense guessing without begging for hero throws. And the whole plan is built to make defenders hesitate for half a second, because half a second is all it takes. The skill group is used like a set of keys, not like a pile of stars. Cooper Kupp does that veteran thing where he shows up in the soft space the moment a defense tries to protect something else. Jackson Smith-Njigba wins with timing and clean breaks, so the ball comes out before the rush even thinks it has a chance. Zach Charbonnet gives them that steady pace when they want to stay on track, then Kenneth Walker hits the same front later with a different kind of force when legs are tired. And when a defense starts creeping closer to stop the short stuff, Rashid Shaheed is the reminder that one step the wrong way can turn into disaster. None of it works if the front cannot hold up, and that is where the change feels real. Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas are making the edge feel safe, so the pocket does not collapse before routes can breathe. The tight ends matter here too, because A.J. Barner helps sell the run and still gives you an answer when the defense overplays it. And Elijah Arroyo adds another target that makes the middle feel crowded for linebackers. And that leads to the real question, because this kind of structure only shines when the quarterback fully trusts it. So how did Sam Darnold go from forcing things to playing like the system is second nature? Sam Darnold was supposed to be a finished story. Not because the arm was gone, but because the league loves quick labels and even quicker exits. When things fell apart with the Jets, then got messy again with the Panthers, most people stopped watching the details and only kept the punchline. But he did something that feels boring until you realize how rare it is. He stopped chasing a loud comeback and started chasing clean football, the kind that lasts. What nobody talks about is how much of this change happens when nobody is clapping. In San Francisco, Sam Darnold lived in the background, sitting with Kyle Shanahan and Clint Kubiak, taking reps that do not make headlines, grinding through the parts of quarterback play that fans never see. Then in Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell gave him a clearer lane, simpler reads, better timing, and a plan that let his confidence grow without forcing him to be perfect. That is when you saw the shift: less panic, less forcing, more patience, like he finally trusted what his eyes were telling him. Then Seattle called, and it was not a rescue mission, it was a fit. Sam Darnold walked into a room that wanted steady hands, not a hero. Even when the noise got loud early, he did not fold back into bad habits. He stayed calm and kept stacking correct plays until the results followed. And now that he is here, the real pressure point is not his talent, It is the support around him, because the next piece of this story is how Seattle built the protection and the backbone that makes this version of Sam Darnold feel hard to break. Seattle did not turn dangerous because of one hot streak. They turned dangerous because the line stopped bending. When you watch Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas now, it feels like the fight is already decided before the ball even goes out. Not perfect, not pretty, just firm. They have played through enough pain that most teams would call it a reason to slip, and instead it became the reason this group looks tougher every week. That changes the whole mood of an offense, because once the edge feels safe, the entire plan can stay calm. The inside grew teeth too, and that is where the real shift lives. Gray Zabel did not look like a finished product early. He looked like a young player taking hits and learning what the NFL tries to do to you. Then the season dragged on, and he stopped catching. The punch. He started throwing it. You can feel it in the run game, bodies move, lanes show up, and the defense has to deal with real force instead of hoping the line collapses on its own. That is the kind of growth that turns a good idea into something you can trust in January. And the tight ends make that trench story louder without needing spotlight. A Jay Barner is the kind of player who makes the front look stronger because he does the dirty parts clean. Elijah Arroyo is a rookie who adds stress in the middle because defenses cannot just ignore him when the game gets tight. Put all of that together and you get a team that can win ugly, win late, and keep its balance when the moment gets heavy. But none of this was an accident. It came from choices that were cold, bold, and risky. And the next part is where Seattle's front office proved it was willing to cut the old life of this team to build the new one. The Seattle Seahawks did not stumble into this, they built it with moves. That would scare most teams out of the room. They made the call on Russell Wilson before the league forced their hand, when his name still carried real weight and the debate was still hot. People saw it as a gamble, some called it reckless, but Seattle saw time. They took the draft picks, freed up money, and started shaping a roster that could win without living in the past. Then they proved they could be smart without being soft. Geno Smith stepped in and kept them steady, kept them in games, kept the standard alive, and that mattered. But the building never confused steady with finished. They kept adding talent, kept raising the ceiling, and when the next hard moment came, they did not flinch. Letting Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf move on was not about erasing what they did, it was about refusing to trap the future under old contracts. And the biggest proof this was a real plan came from the headset. Moving on from Pete Carroll was not a casual change, it was a clean break from an era, and bringing in Mike Macdonald was a bet on a new identity. Seattle wanted a team that could squeeze games, not chase them, and that only works when the defense becomes the anchor instead of the question mark. Because once you look at what Mike Macdonald did with the talent he was handed, you start to understand why teams are not scared of one player. They are scared of the whole system. The Seattle Seahawks defense does not feel like a unit you can figure out by the second drive. It feels like a room that keeps shrinking. Mike Macdonald is not calling a defense that hopes you make mistakes. He is calling one that pushes you into them. Offenses line up thinking they have answers, then the picture changes right after the snap, and the easy throw suddenly looks like a trap. It is calm, it is fast, and it hits with the same cold mood on every series. Up front, it starts with grown man strength and clean violence. Leonard Williams ruins pockets without needing a free run. Byron. Murphy makes double teams feel useless, and Ernest Jones closes the gap before a run can even breathe. On the edge, DeMarcus Lawrence sets that hard line that tells a runner, not this way. And when teams fall behind the sticks, the rush comes in waves. Uchenna Nwosu, Boye Mafe, Tyrese Knight, and Derek Hall keep coming with fresh legs and fresh angles, so quarterbacks do not get that safe moment to step up and reset. And the scary part is, the back end plays like it trusts the front completely. Rick Woolen can sit on routes without fear. Julian Love and Kobe Bryant erase the space offenses want to live in, and the disguises make the quarterback hold the ball just long enough for the rush to land. Even the old confusion from the Jamal Adams years is gone, because the jobs are clear now and the coverage feels connected. That is why this defense does not just win snaps, it wins nerves. It makes teams press. It makes them rush. and it saves its best work for the moments when the stadium gets loud. Now think about what that looks like in a playoff gauntlet, when the Rams and the 49ers are trying to break you late, because that is where Seattle proved this was real. The playoffs did not feel like a victory lap for the Seattle Seahawks. It felt like a test designed to break them. Early on, the Los Angeles Rams were still the team people pointed to when they wanted to doubt this whole run, because they had been the one look that made Seattle feel stuck. The noise got loud, fast. Then the tone flipped. Sam Darnold walked back into that same pressure and played like the doubt was not even in the room. One clean answer after another. And suddenly the question stopped being, can they survive, and turned into, who is going to stop them? San Francisco tried to drag the game into a slow fight where every yard feels heavy, and that is where the Seahawks look different. They did not chase the moment. They let it come to them. When the championship came back around, the fourth quarter turned into the kind of stress that usually breaks teams, and Seattle did not blink. One snap swings it, then another. Rashid Shaheed hits like a lightning strike, then the decision to go for two lands like a punch to the chest. And when the game got tight near the goal line, Seattle did not ask for mercy. They squeezed it until the other side ran out of air. Now zoom out and you see why this run hit so hard. The Detroit Lions pushed late. The Chicago Bears looked like they are coming fast. And the NFC was full of teams that could hurt you. But Seattle walked through the heart of it anyway. That changes how the league talks, because it proves this is not just talent, it is nerve. And now the story takes a sharp turn because the Super Bowl is not another NFC fight. It is the New England Patriots, it is their kind of patience, and it is a young passer in Drake May who has nothing to lose, which is exactly when things get dangerous. The Seattle Seahawks are walking into the Super Bowl with everyone telling them this is their moment, and that is exactly why this gets dangerous. New England has won by making games feel small, slow, and annoying, then waiting for one slip. Their defense has allowed 26 points in 3 playoff games. And that is not a typo, that is a warning. Drake May has not needed fireworks either. He has lived on control, with 533 passing yards in that stretch, just enough to keep the machine moving while the defense does the heavy work. Seattle will try to crush that plan early, because if you let it hang around, it starts to feel like a trap closing. Kenneth Walker is the stress test, the kind of runner who makes a defense pay for every soft step, and Seattle will lean on him to pull the fight into the dirt. Then comes the quiet damage. Jackson Smith-Njigba stealing easy wins on routes that break your rhythm. Cooper Kupp finding space the moment your eyes drift, and Rashid Shaheed turning one. Late rotation into a sudden nightmare. If New England is less than 100% with Robert Spillane and Harold Landry, Seattle will push right at that, behind Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, and force the Patriots to show how deep their answers really are. And Seattle is not showing up fresh either, which is why this game will tell the truth about how they were built. Sam Darnold has been protecting that core, Drake Thomas has been fighting through that shoulder, and the line has been carrying pain like it is part of the job. The difference is Seattle has a roster designed to absorb it, with Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, and Ernest Jones giving Mike McDonald real power in the middle, and Devin Witherspoon giving him a closer on the back end when the throws get desperate. If the Seahawks finish this, it will not just be a trophy. It will be a message that a smart deal at quarterback, a real run game, and a defense with teeth can flip a franchise fast, and the only question left is which team is brave enough to try copying it.